Hello, dear conscious manifestors. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Sylviane, and I love to teach you about the law, spiritual law, the law of assumption, and how to manifest your desires. Are you someone saying that things are getting worse as you are trying to change, as you are trying to manifest your desires? If so, well, this video is for you. And be sure to stick all the way to the end because I'm going to tell you a true story that happened to me this very week to give you an example of what happens when you let go completely of this ego side of you. And when you focus on who you truly are. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, the first thing that I want to mention is that if you feel more anxious, if you feel worse, if you feel that the circumstances in your life are getting worse because you are doing your inner work, you have to know, first of all, that this is very common and normal. Why is that? Because when you are changing, when you are killing off the old personality of yours, your old identity, it doesn't want to die. The old man doesn't want to die. It's just a fact. Why is that? Because the old self, the old identity, the identity anyway in general that you identify with is completely, directly linked to your ego. And the ego doesn't want to die. Why do you think that as human beings we are afraid of dying? Because when we die, physical death, the ego dies. Our true self, our God self doesn't die, but the ego does die. And that's why we are afraid of dying, because the ego doesn't want to die. And it's the same thing when we are getting rid of the old self. That old identity of yours doesn't want to die because it only knows what it knows. It only knows itself as that identity. It doesn't know anything else and doesn't want to let go of you. So this is why all of a sudden you feel even worse. And therefore, because you feel worse, you manifest worse stuff out there. And you are saying, oh my goodness, as I'm trying to get better, everything is getting worse. The only thing you have to do when that happens is to take a deep breath and remember that all you have to do is persist in what you are doing. Persist in being. And when I say what you are doing, I don't mean hammer more techniques. That's not what I mean. I mean persist in the new you. If you have made the decision, this is who I am now, and you haven't done a single affirmation or any technique, that's fine. That's not what I'm saying to do right here. When I say persist, I mean persist in the new state, persist in the new self. And as you persist and let whatever happens just happen, let it be, just go through it like you would go through a bad cold, and very soon it will be over anyway. When you do that, your old self will leave you alone, right? But only if you persist into the new personality, into the new identity, the new state of being, eventually the old will die off. Secondly, as long as you are trying to change and manifest within this law, from the ego self, it's going to be much harder for you. This is why it's much better to cultivate the belief that you are more than the ego. You are this faceless and formless, all powerful awareness that we call also God. You are God within. You are not just your little ego self. Your little ego self is the tip of the iceberg. Who you truly are is what truly manifests whatever it is that you are manifesting. You are not manifesting from your ego self, even when you manifest by accident, not on purpose. You are never manifesting anything in this 3D. Because as I mentioned in some previous videos, anyhow, the 3D is dead and nothing happens in the 3D. Absolutely nothing happens in the 3D. That's why the term dead fits it very, very well. Nothing happens in the 3D. It is dead as a mirror is dead. It only reflects who you are being from within. And who you are being from within is I am. It is that I am, that awareness, that God self of yours that manifests. And the faster you accept who you truly are, the easier it's going to be for you to change as smoothly as possible. And you'll see that if you manifest from that point of view, from that perspective, you will have much less backlash from your old identity, from your old self. I wanted to read you a message that I've received just a few days ago following my last video. And this is what this lady is saying. And I'm sharing it because she allowed me to do so. Okay? Dear Sylviane, I would like to thank you for all your work, energy, patience, and brilliance. Well, thank you very much. I was listening to your video, thinking from versus thinking of, like 10 times, and I always found something new. The most mind-blowing thing for me was when you named the 3D as a reflection, mirror, shadow. This was game-changing for me. Just one word. I heard it like 1,000 times, but I got it now. You said that we don't have to convince ourselves by manifesting, affirming, etc. We just have to be it. This was a hard one for me. I didn't want to listen to it because everybody was telling me persist, keep imagining, keep affirming every night, all day long. So I was doing my work. Sometimes it was exhausting. And deep in my heart, I knew I should be it and stop trying and chasing, just being it. But I was too scared to let go. I decided I'll do it. I'll just be it. I won't be thinking or imagining. I'll just be it because I am it and it is the easiest thing ever. You can't imagine how it feels. It feels amazing. It is such a relief. I feel happiness, joy, and freedom. I don't even care if I have it because I know that I am it. So thank you from all my heart. Thank you that you always reply. Thank you. So do you see what this young woman realized? She realized that she was exhausted, right? Exhausted trying, imagining, affirming, doing all those techniques on purpose. Like I always said, I'm going to say it one more time. I have nothing against techniques, and especially if they make you feel good, if they are fun to use, by all means, use them. But if, like this young woman here, and I know many of you feel the same way, if you are exhausted by them because you were only doing them because you felt that you had to, please stop. There is nothing that you've got to do. Only be. There is nothing to do. It's only about being. So what this young woman decided is that she is that. She is. And what's the result of that? Well, she says it here. She feels joy, happiness, relief, and freedom. I have a client very recently who is doing much, much better than she's ever done. Yet she asked me the other day, what else should I do? And I told her, nothing. Nothing. There is nothing more to do. Stop doing stuff, guys. It's not about doing, it's about being. You get that? It's never about doing, it's about being. Because even when you use techniques that you do, right? You practice your technique. It's only to make you feel that you are, right? That person that you say you want to be. So it's never about doing, because even when you do stuff, it's to put you in the state, right, of being. So please stop thinking, even that, it's such a limiting belief. When you think that you always have to do something to manifest A, B, C, there is nothing you can do. As Neville himself said it, there's nothing you can do. You want to do something, but you can't do anything anywhere. You just need to be, right? So let that be clear. And the video that this young lady is referring to is this one here. I'm going to post it up here so you can watch it after this one. Now, let me tell you a little personal experience that I've experienced this week. So, for the past few weeks, I have played a lot, like I always like to do, with my inner being, basically, right? I'm playing with the law, I'm playing with myself. I don't even know how to call it. But for the past few weeks, I have really, really focused on being God, right? Being that faceless and formless being that is detached pretty much from the 3D world. And I have played with the thought that you already know that, but I've really meditated on this. I have meditated on the fact that time is a complete freaking illusion, that it doesn't exist except for the concept of men. Linear time is a concept of the human brain, basically, right? So I've played with that, knowing that time, linear time, doesn't even exist. And I kid you not, a couple of days ago, I knew I had a client at 6 p.m. my time, right? For her, in her world, it was a different time anyway, right? Because again, another proof that linear time is an illusion. So for her, because she was in another part of the world, it was a different time. But that doesn't matter. For me, the meeting was at 6 p.m. And it was about 4 p.m. when I looked at the clock and I said to myself, oh, this is a good time to go do my daily walk because I have a little bit of time right now to do so. And then I know I'll be in a session at 6 p.m. So let's go for my daily walk now. It was just a few minutes after 4. I know. I looked at the clock and I went on a walk that was, I know what it is, and I've done it many times before, 20 to 30 minutes. So that would have meant that I would be back at the most by 4:40, even 4:45 to give it room, right? But when I came in and just took my shoes off and sat in front of my computer, and maybe 5 minutes later, I look at the time and it was after 6. And I was blown. I was like shocked. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? I left at a little bit after 4. I know that I was not gone at all more than 40, 45 minutes max. And I'm taking my shoes off. I'm sitting for 5 minutes and I look at the clock and it's already after 6, meaning that I was late for my session. I could not believe it. And let me tell you, I'm glad that I do what I do for a living because I could tell what really happened to my client. Imagine if I had another type of meeting. I couldn't have said that because they would have think I'm crazy. But I wasn't crazy. It's just because I have played lately with the belief that time is an illusion. I have had this weirdest thing where time, linear time, completely messed me up. And I'm not even going to talk about the other two things that happened, but two more time things happened, which is twice in the same week, I made a date mistake, a whole date. And I know that I looked at my calendar and I saw a date that actually doesn't exist for this year. For example, I saw March 31st to be Tuesday, while March 31st for the year 2025 was Monday. But I kid you not, when I looked in my calendar, it said Tuesday. So this is what happens, guys, when you let go of the 3D facts and when you embody your true self and you really let go of everything. You let go of your mind and body and the 3D and you just meditate on who you truly are. You are going to see very strange things indeed. It's not even the first time, guys, I manifest weird things. Even before I knew the law, I manifested incredibly weird things. That's why I never forgot them and I can use them today that I know the law. Before I was just very troubled, very like, oh, what is this? But the good thing is I have always been a spiritual person, never a scientific person, but always a very spiritual person. So whenever I could not explain something, I somehow knew, even though I didn't know what I know today, I knew that it had to belong to the spiritual realm and not the physical one. So, anyway, what happened to me this week with time, thinking that I had 2 hours ahead of me, but those 2 hours got completely messed up and turned to be, I don't even know what anymore, but they were not 2 hours anymore. My time, because I manifested that, right, got completely messed up. And basically, what I intended to do this past few weeks, it's to prove to myself that time, linear time, is just an illusion. So my 3D had no choice, right, as always, but to show me, yes, indeed, time, linear time is just an illusion. Unfortunately, it made me start my session with my client 10 minutes late, but anyway, we made up for it. And it was a nice little story to talk about. But my dear friends, if you want to test the law, not just about manifesting little things and people, right? If you really want to test whatever you want to test, test it. Test it. Whatever it is that you want to test, the most incredible things, and you'll see how this world is not what you think it is. So, why am I telling you this story? Because I just said earlier that if you want to become a master manifester and manifest easily and faster without having all the problems that you are having as per what you're saying to me, you have to dig deep down. That's all you have to do. You have to go within. You have to meditate. Meditate on the I am. Meditate on that. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths in and out, like a dozen of them until you feel calmer. And then start repeating in your mind, I am, I am, I am. And once you feel very calm and you feel that faceless and formless power within, start imagining whatever the heck you want, whatever desire you want, or also play like I do with other things such as time. Let your 3D show you as well that time is an illusion. And then beware what you wish for, because once it's going to show you things, it's going to show them to you. And it may be shocking, it may be fun, it may be maybe scary, I don't know. But the point is, once you understand who you truly are, you don't have to be afraid of anything. So this is what I have for you today, guys. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give me a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you are new here. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.